Howdy folks, gonna show you how to get your push mower ready for the season in this video, so stick around. Okie dokie, as I said, we're going to show you how to get your push mower ready for the season. It is the beginning of March as I'm shooting this. Who knows when the video will be posted, but for some of you, you're already cutting grass. And ours is coming up around the corner. I'm getting ahead of the game this year and trying to beat the neighbors. New neighbors, so there's that. Here's my push mower. It's a Murray 21 inch. It doesn't have self-propel or anything, just a Briggs & Stratton. When did I get this thing? I want to say 2014, so it's like 5 or 6 years old. 2014, 2015 I got it. I think it was 2014. Because I picked it up in my K30. And that hasn't ran for quite some time, so it's looking at it, as you can see, it's seen some better days. It hasn't been kept inside in 3 or 4 years, which whatever. I think it is my most popular video was on this mower, and that was replacing this cable, which needs zip ties. And that still works. But so thank you guys for watching that video, if you've seen that video. If not, I should probably post a card up in the corner with the video in it. But most popular video, so thank you very much. And I honestly don't understand why it's that popular, but cool. So we're gonna get this ready for the beginning of the season, as I said. Just first off, I'm just going to pull this bungee off of here, get it out of the way, ish, a little better. Here we go. That was this lawnmower's been through hell. But first thing first, before you do any work on your push mower, I like to do lockout tag out. If you don't know what that is, it's a safety thing. Okay, you lock out any forms of energy that could kill you or make shit move and hurt you or someone else or whatever. So basically, the only lockout tag out on this, get your fat fingers in there, pull the plug off the spark plug, the boot off the spark plug. That way she won't start. Just some lockout tag out precautions. Now I will go through and start this later, but with it being sat outside, you really want to change your oil. If it's in the shop and you change it at the end of season, it's fine, but sitting outside all winter, I got to change my oil. Well, I'll show you how to do that real quick. I have a better video on it. I'll post a card for in the corner. Here's your fuel tank. It should be empty. I did not empty it like I normally do. Air cleaner, spark plug, and then the blade underneath. So one thing, if it's sitting outside, you might want to oil your cable here. It's fine, it's moving. If you have no starting issues, you want to pull this cap off, and I don't remember the proper terms off my head. I'm calling it a magneto, I think. anywhere, there's on the flywheel there's magnets, and as that spins, that's what creates your spark. So if you're having no start problems and you pull the plug to check spark and you have no spark, take some sandpaper and clean the magnets up, clean the pickup on the magneto. Again, that's what I'm calling it. I think that's right. I'm not sure. I don't care. But for your normal people who actually care and keep your equipment in the garage or in the shed, it's going to be very easy. Change your oil, sharpen your blade, clean or replace your spark plug, clean or replace your air filter, and I think there's a fuel filter on here. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not replacing it, but if you want to, you can. I don't really have any issues with that. I run good, decent fuel in it and try to keep it clean. Yeah. So, I think I'm going to start with draining the oil and going from there. Probably drain the gasoline too. But yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I didn't show you draining the gas because I used a not EPA approved disposal facility called in my backyard. Wait, no I didn't. What? But I'm gonna drain the oil now. I'll show you how to do this because some people don't know how. But I'm using a slightly more approved EPA. It's still not. My used motor oil goes to my buddy who uses it to lube up his hay balers. So anyway, take a fast food cup of your choosing. That looks like Taco Bell. And you just, okay, I can't do this one-handed. Helper. Thank you. And tilt her over and catch the oil. And try not to drop the mower down on yourself. So, you know, safety is a factor. Could you, here we go. Oh, that still looks good. I could have left it, but oil's cheap. Especially the dinosaurs I'm using. Liquefied dinosaurs. Well, a lot more than I expected. Oh, here we go. And you put the, once that's done, you can put the straw and lid back on it and give it to a friend. Hey, I'm joking, don't do that. Alright, that's good enough for who it's for. Do the coordinated. Oh yeah, looks like we've done this before. We haven't. Okay, so that's done. We'll put oil in it once we're done working on the rest of it, because you don't want oil for how long. I'm going to flip this over, and you don't want fuel and oil in it. It'll drip out of everywhere and through the exhaust and intake and blah 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 blah. So I think next thing is blade. We'll do the blade, then we'll do the spark plug, air filter, put oil and gas in it and fire it up. Let's get her going. Okay, we got her flipped over. So on its side, you can see it's a little grassy and rusty. So we'll scrape that grass off somewhat and bust the blade off to sharpen it and clean it up. Everything in here is going to get cleaned up and painted, I think, this year. So that'll be another video, I reckon. But yeah. So anyway, my helper will hold the camera. 5/8 socket and a ratchet. And you want a piece of wood or something to force against, or just be a boss. remember, spark plug is off. Otherwise, it's a safety issue somehow. If that handle was depressed or something malfunctioned with the engine and you were spinning this, it could kick start and chop your limbs off. No bueno. So here we go. Bolt and a plate. That'll all get cleaned up. Pop the blade off. Crusty noise. Next thing you want to do is take yourself an implement of scraping, which that or a screwdriver or a putty knife. And all the loose stuff. This really isn't bad. If I was gonna paint this, I'd dump her out and call her good from there. But yeah. So at this point we'll sharpen her blade and whatnot and go on from there. I got a video showing you how to sharpen blades. In depth, I'll just do a little quick overview on this, I reckon, when we do it. So I'm gonna sharpen these. We'll do it the Adam way, the quick and dirty way. You should balance them, you know, to some extent. Center it up and whatever. It's not exactly balanced, but close enough. So I picked the dirtiest side first. This side's got more nicks, and I just count passes, sort of. So nothing special. All I use is a flapper wheel on a grinder and a hand file to touch them up. Not going to go into detail on this because I have a video on it. You can click on that or search for it and see that one for yourself. So real quick. This mower doesn't get used much for nice stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. I do a nicer job on the tractor. But sharp is what matters. That's not the normal file I use. I can't find the one I usually use, of course. Yeah. Files are directional. I can't really tell this one. It's an old one. That's good enough for what it's for, I think. Let's do this side now. Okie dokie. That's 2 coats of paint. She's tacky. Still, but I got other crap to do. So it'll have to do. You can see the video on painting this thing and the tractor whenever I do that. It'll be one video. So my helper got the blade for me. Blade goes on like so with the little wings pointing towards the deck. That's what gets your lift. Put your plate back on there. Hand, get my ratchet and a helper to hold the camera for you guys so you can see. I'll tighten. And again, spark plug boot is off. That's it. Blade is sharpened. Deck is cleaned, painted. There are no oil filters on push mowers. About 1.5 quarts left. I'm not sure what it takes. We'll just add a few drops at a time. But basically, I have a video on this, how to change your oil. You just want to fill it up between those 2 hash marks. It's that simple. Okay, I'm back. I don't know how long it's been since I've worked on these things, but we'll finish her out. 2 more things to do on this. Spark plug air cleaner. Air cleaner's easy. Just open up your cleaner. And this one is disgusting. Tap it out. We'll blow it out with some air. An air compressor. But this one, these foam air cleaners, you just blow it out with some air, wash it with this one's getting crunchy. We might need to get a new one. I'll squeeze it through one more year. But we'll blow it out with air. Use it's a sponge, so you clean it like a sponge. Soap and water. Preferably something that lifts oil, like a Dawn dish soap. Soap and water, clean it up once it's blown out. You can use your wife or girlfriend's sink, they'll love you for it. I'm joking. Clean it up if you do afterwards. And once it's air dried, you can wipe it down with some motor oil, just enough to dampen it. You don't want it sopping wet, you just want it enough that the dirt catches on, like this. That's how these filters work. So moisten it up with some motor oil, and then we can put it back in. You want to clean all this up with air compressor and some air, or a can of like carb cleaner, brake cleaner, just to get some junk out. But my assistant will take care of that while I do other stuff. Spark plug up front there. Get yourself a spark plug socket. Spark plug sockets have a little piece of rubber in there to help with the ceramic case and to help hold the spark plug in there. So just bust it loose. One-handed as always. Should be. Need a little more leverage. Back your spark plug out. You can put a new one in. I typically don't on my small engines all the time. Like if it's been 10 years, yeah. But if it's real bad, this ain't real bad. We'll check the gap. Look in your manual or online. You can find the gap specs and just use a feeler gauge. With this one, I'm just going to spray it down with some brake clean, carb clean, and hit it with a wire brush real quick and slap her back in. That's simple. So we'll do that. Alright, so when you're cleaning your spark plugs, at the very most aggressive I would use is a brass bristle brush. If it isn't that bad, I either use a brass or a nylon. You don't want to use steel or anything. I don't anyway. I mean, you don't want to damage these electrodes or anything. So I just sprayed it out with some carb cleaner, throttle body cleaner. And then we'll shove her back in there. You could, if you want to, shine a flashlight down the spark plug hole and take a look at your cylinder. See if it's scored up or anything. But it's fine. We're good. For the air cleaner, I didn't blow this out with air like I said. I just, you know, it's good enough. I sprayed this out with carb clean though. And the filter is inside getting washed as we speak. And once that dries, I'll show you. I just had to sponge it up with a little motor oil and shove her back in. So snug it back up. And remember, you're still working on this. Do not put your spark plug boot back on. That is the last thing you do. That's our lockout tag out for safety. So while air cleaner's in there getting cleaned up, there's no gas in it because we drained that. I like to put some sort of tune-up crap in a can in my things. If you watched my chainsaw video, I said the same stuff. So get yourself some seafoam, or I used to use the STP stuff. I'm using the gum out now. I don't really see the STP stuff in the can anymore. I think it was STP. But anyway, it's a small engine. You don't need much. So take it a little bit. Give her a little bit in the fuel can, in the fuel tank. And yeah, so once you mix it up with fuel, that's not the lid for that. Yeah, it's the lid for that. Once you put some fuel in there, it'll smoke a little bit. But they run better. It'll run better. Not as bad, not as good as a two-stroke that gets it. Gets all the carbon and crap cleaned off, but this stuff does its job. I like to do that. So we'll let that air cleaner dry when it's done, and we'll come back to this. Alright, so real quick, at the sponge filter, foam filter, and all you got to do, take a little motor oil. That side's the inside side, and I just You don't want it too oily, or else it'll clog it. And then just my shit needs tightened down there. And do that again. There. Wipe up the extra oil there. Squeeze the extra oil out of it. You can wipe your hands up with that. She's slightly damp. Back over. Don't know why I left that off. And back on. Now, whenever you put your spark plug boot back on it, fill her up with gas, and you're good to go. So that's how you do your maintenance on a push mower. It's easy. All you need is some basic tools. And you don't even have to sharpen your own blades. You can take them someplace to have them sharpened, like a hardware store, typically, or some people do it. Just check on Facebook or Craigslist. It's not hard. If you don't have the tools, it's not that big a deal. But you can change your oil. You don't need tools for that. Spark plug, you can just replace it. Air cleaner, you can buy a new one if you want to. It's real simple. Keep your mower running good. And, yeah. There you have it. So thanks for watching. Hope that helps you guys. You can check me out on Facebook and Instagram for social media. Give me a follow there. Both K30 Crazy. And as I always say, until next time, stay crazy and have a good one, people.